Part 2. Trying to keep it short and sweet if I can. Diary of a Griever named John Weaver with the bad hair again. Yeah, it's still the 18th. It's still November. It's still Tuesday. And we're over time. It's about 12:54 in the morning. Yeah. So I was talking in the previous video about grieving and how sometimes memories and triggers would happen and everything else goes all in a handbasket, and extending condolences and feelings and sympathies to everybody else is going through the same thing. But I was also trying to avoid the politics as well. Imagine living in the West Coast. If you are living in the West Coast, just don't imagine it. Just be there. And you were in a small fishing town off the coast of Oregon. Apparently, there's a small fishing area that's close to either Portland or Eugene, or maybe both. And they depend upon one helicopter for rescues out in sea. Well, their helicopter disappeared off of their municipal airport, transported miles and miles away where it's going to be ineffective. Oh, the coastline still has the aircraft. Problem is, the town which depended upon it for its livelihood and survivability, well, the federal government said, so they took it, reassigned the crew and everybody. So anybody who's going to be fishing out in sea off the coast of Oregon, you're screwed. Because the Trump administration and all its pure, innocent glory is fucking over people left and right. Worse, they want to make this particular town of Newport, I think the town's called, into an ICE agency. They want to put another ICE facility out there in the state of Oregon. On the coast. They're trying to find commercial places to install another ICE detention facility for West Coast. It's bad enough they had San Francisco, with Alameda being used as a base. San Diego somewhere, I don't even know where the hell they're using that place. But I know LA, they still have the federal buildings out here. Washington, state of, I don't know. You tell me. We still got a few places out in the state of Washington that could be used. But no, they picked an innocent area because it's so innocent out of the way. Who would respond to this particular town? I mean, it's the perfect place for it, isn't it? I mean, it's off the coast of Oregon. Why not? But the town of Newport has been explained by the newly formed network channel MS Now. Rachel Maddow's show was broadcasting this to the rest of the planet. And this one small town has got about, 18, 20,000? Or actually 2,000, maybe more than that. Fishing village. These people got pissed off when they heard about it. And they told their elected officials, state, local, and the federal representatives what the hell was going on. And even the federal doesn't know what the hell is going on because they don't know why the federal government's been looking into abandoned buildings for a new facility, and these people are fired. Oh, God. In one particular town hall, it was reported that over 800, it's still a good-sized crowd, trying to squeeze into a small room that doesn't even have a room for it. Mostly it was press trying to get information, and the rest of the town was squeezed out, except in overflow areas, trying to understand, trying to listen to, trying to get information. They don't want ICE in their neighborhood at all. Do I blame them? Fuck no. We're trying to tell them we don't want ICE anywhere. Case in point. We have Border Patrol. We have Border Patrol that only covers up to 100 miles inland surrounding the United States of America. How about 300 or 400 miles inside? Can we find Border Patrol? You damn bet you we can. There's reports of Border Patrol trying to harangue people left and right. Out of their 100-mile jurisdiction. I mean, I'm talking about inside 100 miles from the border, according to rules, regulations, edicts, whatever they got going, that keeps them from going inside. They can patrol the borders of our country. They can patrol Canada, Mexico, West Coast, East Coast, but going inside? 200 or 300 miles inside looking for what? They're not looking for love. They're looking for bodies to fill bags with. I'm not talking about dead bags. I'm talking about transporting these people and kicking them out of the country just because Stephen Miller still has a heart. He goes on one of those conservative networks out there. Newsmax, this thing? Has a meltdown. Has a nutty. Blames Democrats for everything. Democrats have to be blamed. Previous administration has to be blamed. They cannot do any wrong. And he goes thermonuclear. I'd seen the clips on this guy. How the hell is his wife dealing with him? She's just as screwed up as he is. Just as screwed up. That thing I mentioned about, I think, in this broadcast or in the previous video, about the gathering out in Washington, D.C., I think next week. Trying to tell the, damn folks, trying to tell the elected officials they can't stand the shit going on. They want the Epstein files released. And they want Trump out of office, period. Now, as I was trying to explain to people, as much as I understand about the Politics 101, concerning about this little section they called about the line of succession, guys. Oh, fuck me on this one. Line of succession is something that was made right after, I think after the Civil War. They were trying to find fallback positions for our government to keep running. Meaning in the Constitution it was generated where we actually had a president and vice president. But after the vice president, then who? I gotta go through my damn dates again on this one. It's either after the Revolutionary War or it was after the Civil War that we actually had it. Where we had several people in the chain of command, the elected officials, including both the Senate and the House of Representatives. And then finally the cabinet would be heir apparent if we actually had an issue with both vice president and vice president positions. Meaning that you would have the third in command, Speaker of the House. Fourth, you would have the President pro tem of the Senate. Then after that becomes the executive branch. They had some updates throughout the century, past couple of centuries, of who specifically is going to take what. I gotta find a Wikipedia link for this one so I can show you on how bad it is. Because I understand about getting rid of the old gas bag. According to the Constitution, 25th Amendment, that was passed, that would get this asshole kicked out for whatever reasons. Only you've got a Trumplicate. I don't call them Republicans anymore. I call them Trumplicates. To follow his ass. Controlled in the Senate, not to mention in the House. They got the majority on it. The House sets it up, and the Senate's supposed to try his ass. But if you got people kissing Trump's ass left and right, is it going to be effective? Once you get Trump, then you got J.D. Vance. And he's been mouthing off left and right, but he's been trying to keep it cool, but he still mouths off left and right. And he's not suitable for anything anyway. And then let alone you got Speaker Johnson, he keeps lying his ass off left and right. Calls himself a Christian? Give me a break. I challenge him on that one. It's not challenging him on the verses. It's his actions I have a problem with. It's his actions I really have a problem with. And then, what is it? I know Thune in the Senate is the political head honcho for the Republican Party. But the Speaker Pro Tem, yeah, Grassley, I think, or someone else. Where do they have an issue? Maybe they have an issue or trying to keep decorum going in the Senate. We'll see what happens. But don't keep expecting a miracle out of this one, at least not in my book. They're going to keep Trump in office because he's going to do anything and everything he can to keep it going. And by the way, he still values loyalty over everything. He does. He wants people to keep worshiping him because he's Donald Trump. And he's pissy every time when a reporter gets snippy at him. Tries to ask a truthful question. Trying to get the truth out of the guy. And he attacks that reporter. You're from a fake news station. You're this and that. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, toddler brain comes out. Attacks. God forbid you should be somebody in the House of Representatives going after him left and right. Because he'll tear you up. Even if you had supported this guy for this amount of time. And not just for him being in the second term. I'm talking about the first term. You go against the Trump. And oh my God, you're against the toddler brain. And he'll waddle up to you and say bad things. He's a senior citizen losing his brain and losing his agility. He's losing his mental agility. He's losing his mental and physical health. I know I'm doing mine. I'm disintegrating in front of myself. And this guy has doctors lying about him all the time. And then the press secretary, a 28-year-old tart, running the press corps. She's lying to them on a constant basis, and they know it. They have to get fact checkers just to tell them on their own networks what the real story is. It's bad enough they got another 20-something who's an AG who's prosecuting everybody because Trump says so. It no longer becomes the Department of Justice, the Department of Trump. Trump's vengeance. He's got a madcap warrior who's only an armchair general. Not that much experience in combat or anything. But he's running the Pentagon. He wants war. Tries this macho bullshit from the 1980s on people. The generals and the leaders are looking at him like, what the fuck did we sign up for? What the fuck was wrong with the American people putting these assholes in? Including this armchair asshole. Yeah. Put forces outside the Caribbean, actually inside the Caribbean waters. One of the newest aircraft carriers was about several escorts. I mean, how many we got? About 20 craft in the waters of the Caribbean? Where a Venezuelan president is saying, okay, what do you want? What do you want? You've already killed a lot of people already. Donald Trump, and I want you out of there because I want your oil. You're a drug dealer. You're a drug dealer. You gotta be you gotta be die. You gotta die. You gotta go. I say so. indirectly through his flunkies in different channels. That's what's being broadcasted. We're about to have a war, in the Caribbean waters. I understand Venezuela's a pretty damn big country, too. A little larger than Ukraine. And yet we got the Navy. We got what, 20,000, maybe more? We got a military base armed up in Puerto Rico. Should have been abandoned, but no. They got it activated and renovated. We got a squadron over there ready to do some bombing raids. Not to mention we got an aircraft carrier, and we've got LST out there, or two. Fuck. Trump's been threatening since he got in office that he wants a battle, but he wants to get a peace prize out of Nobel. The problem is the Nobel community said, no, you're an asshole. You're not going for humanity. You're not helping out humanity. You're destroying it. Fuck you. They're putting it in that kind of general terms to Trump. So Trump's like, I show you, you're kind of an asshole like me. Yep. Putin's laughing his head off every time Trump wants to have a peace meeting with him. Give me a fucking break. Putin's just screwing around with him left and right with the old Trump act. So yeah, I'm not going to say we're living in interesting times at this point over here. I was thinking we're back to World War III. We're on countdown, boys and girls. We're on countdown. And this is what's been going on in my head. When I'm not trying to think about coming to the end of a school term and trying to get through reports about previous actions from previous presidents who have actually had some military experience. Well, actually, maybe a few of them hadn't. But at least they listened to their generals what the hell's going on and not firing them left and right. Ugh. You guys are all fucked up, I swear to God. Trump administration's got to go. Midterms are coming up next year. Are we actually going to have any legit voting? According to the Trumplicans, no, because the Democrats are going to screw it's the Democrats' fault for having a screwed up mail. It's Democrats' fault for everything. Whee! It's the Democrats. Whee! But don't you understand? It's always the Democrats' fault. It's not our Republicans' fault. We are Republicans. We know what we're doing. Whee! We're spinning our hands around our shoulders. Yee! Again, worse than the Exorcist, I swear to God. Oy. That being said, guys.